Krobo-Edusei is the CEO of Grace Center for Growth and Excellence, a dynamic organization dedicated to leadership development and personal growth. A certified trainer, speaker, executive coach, and entrepreneur, Grace is licensed with the prestigious Maxwell Leadership Executive Team, a global leader in leadership coaching and training. She also holds certifications as a neuroencoding specialist, brain health trainer, and global priority solutions specialist, demonstrating her diverse expertise in corporate wellness and transformational leadership. Grace is passionate about empowering individuals and organizations to reach their highest potential. Through her tailored workshops, group coaching, and leadership roundtables, she equips teams with practical tools to drive growth and achieve excellence. With a deep commitment to adding value, she regularly facilitates programs designed to enhance team building and foster both personal and professional development. Beyond her professional achievements, Grace is a lay pastor and actively serves in her community. She's a trustee of the Children's Heart Foundation, Ghana, supporting life-saving surgeries for children with congenital heart disease. A devoted mother of 3, Grace enjoys reading, gardening, and photography. Her guiding principles: it's not about what's in it for me, but how I can add value.
Welcome to Inspire, and I'm sitting with our beautiful guest of the day, Mrs. Grace Krobo-Edusei. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Monique. Lovely to meet you. And
likewise.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming down. You're an amazing woman. You're an entrepreneur, a wife, a lay pastor, and you have an incredible event coming up, which we'll discuss shortly. But I want to know, personally, where did Grace start?
Ooh, okay. So Grace started, shall I disclose my age? Almost 3 school years ago. And yeah, I was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria. And so I'm the first of 11 children.
Wow.
Yeah. And I moved to Ghana with my husband of 33 years plus in 1997.
Wow.
So that's kind of my very short journey. But in terms of leadership, like I said, I'm the first of 11 children, so leadership was thrust on me very early. And I had to help take care of my siblings and help to run the home and all that. Of course, I didn't really think it was like leadership, right? So I'm just doing what a good child should be doing.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay, so what motivated you to establish the Grace Center?
So the Grace Center for Growth and Excellence, that is the name of my company. First of all, I remember the scripture that says, that Paul said there is a more excellent way. I'm on the DISC profile, the behavioral profile, I'm a CS. That means somebody who's very proper, prim and proper, right? And for me, I always like things done well. And I thought it'd be nice to show people how to do things better, how to lead better, how to be better, and how to excel. And that's why I wanted to do that. So when it came to setting up my leadership company, I thought, yeah, that would be great. I want to be known as someone who brings excellence and also to themselves and to the people they serve, and also with my name on it, so it's well, and you can still serve
Very
with
nice.
grace, because that's what I think leadership is about. You can serve with grace, and not just about telling people what to do. You can be gracious, and you can do things excellently. So that's the name of my company.
Lovely. And as you said, you were the first child of 11. Do you think that impacted your walk and also setting up your company?
I think so, because I was used to taking responsibility and not being afraid to do things. So even though I was a quiet type, I was still a go-getter. I wanted to do things, and had lots of responsibility thrust on me. So I was used to working like that and doing things well. So that was very, that was my DNA, really. So when it came to setting up my leadership company, that was very easy for me to to speak into that through what I was doing, walking the talk and, giving back to my community. Yeah.
Nice. So you've had a very successful journey in leadership. Have you faced any challenges and obstacles, and what are they?
Absolutely. I think every day we have obstacles. We have, difficulties and challenges that we have to, overcome. And for me, that was my mindset, really. So coming from a place I was really thinking differently, so coming to a society where people were, kind of quiet, so conforming and all that. Even though that was also my DNA, I'm the kind of person, if you say do it like this, I would. Right. And even though, but you have to explain to me why, of course, and I'll do it anyway. So that was. Not a, for me, let's say a no-brainer really, to be able to, do what I had to do very well.
Nice. Do you find that you had more challenges being a woman at the time?
Not at all. Yes. For me, the gender thing is there. The gender issues and stuff, you meet it everywhere, wherever you are. But it's not a challenge that I put in front of me, right? So, you see some of these challenges, you just sort of walk over it and, you move on. Okay, so those kind of challenges were, for me, not a big issue. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so as a neurocoding specialist and leadership expert, what are some of the key strategies you found to be effective in unlocking leadership potential?
Right, so neuroencoding actually is the science of or the study of the human nervous system as it pertains to helping people to achieve what they want. All right, so that's what it's really. It's a type of neuropsychiatry, that sort of thing, yeah, or neurolinguistics, as they also call it as well. So for leadership is very important because people get stuck. People get stuck, even leaders get stuck sometimes, and so we need that sort of resource to help them get unstuck from their mindset or a block, right? So especially high-achieving people, sometimes they do get stuck. People don't believe they do, but they do, right? And so they need that help, and that's what neuroencoding comes in, to able to help them to shift their gaze, to shift their minds, and then be able to move forward with whatever goals or aspirations that they have.
Nice. Yes. Okay, so could you give me an example? I come from a songwriting background.
Songwriting?
Yeah. So how would I undo my writer's block, as we call it?
Okay, so writer's block, or anything else, for example, it comes from something in your brain, so that, because it's happened to me as well. So what neuroencoding does is to be able to acknowledge where you are, and then neutralize that thought or whatever it is that is blocking you from moving forward. Neutralize that, and then shift your attention away, into where you want to be, into where you want to go. So it sounds a little bit, but it's scientific, really.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
So take you off your trajectory, where you're going, and or where you're not going really, that you're stuck there, and then shift you out of it. So stop. So it's we call it a stopgap technique. Stop you, and then there's a gap, and then encode a new learning or a new goal into that gap.
Interesting.
Yes, and then you're able to then move forward with it.
Nice. So almost like you look at the root cause of the issue and then go around it.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so I wanted to know, as we've briefly discussed, leadership can be very daunting for many. So what advice would you give to aspiring leaders who feel unsure about the ability to lead?
Right. One thing about leadership is, I think lots of people think of leadership as something that is about position. So if I don't have a position, then I am not a leader, right? So, or if I don't have, people are looking for other things to make them, to call themselves leaders. There's a book by my coach and trainer, Dr. John C. Maxwell. It's called The 360-Degree Leader. And in fact, there's even something called 360-Degree Leadership. It's a kind of thing that people use in corporate world to check how people are performing as leaders. Nice. So in that, it means that you're a leader from anywhere. Wherever you are, you're a leader. And it is said that leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. It's influence. So wherever you are, right, you can lead because you're influencing somebody around you. So wherever you go, you have to be conscious of the fact that you are actually a leader, and therefore your behavior, your actions, your attitude can influence somebody. So if you have that knowledge, then you will walk or talk and behave in a certain way, right? And still be yourself, of course, but you're a leader, no matter who you are.
Amazing. Yeah. We need you to come to Dominion Academy.
I would love to.
So I also wanted to know, as we mentioned before, you're a wife, a lay pastor, an entrepreneur. How do you balance, being such an amazing, multifaceted woman with your career?
Wow, thank you. Amazing. It doesn't always feel amazing, I have to tell you, but being all that, it's sometimes you're out of balance, right? I don't think people talk about work-life balance and all kinds of balances. I've come to see in my experience that you're not always balanced, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
You're the first person I've heard say that.
Yeah, because we use it a lot. But honestly, are you balanced? I don't know.
Not sure.
Yeah, because we kind of skew this way sometimes. We'll go this way sometimes, right? But at the end of the day, we want to be able to give priority to what is priority.
Right.
And that could mean that you're not balanced. You see what I mean? So if you decide that you're a working woman, you're a professional person and all that, and you want to give more attention to your profession at a particular time in your life rather than the family, that's not balance, is it? But it's just a priority for a season. Right. And then you can then choose another season when you say, well, okay, it's time for family now. I'm going to go swing that way. So then the pendulum goes poop that way, and then you're with the family. And then work stops, or work is, put at a different level, right? And that's what it is. So we can't say, because balance means like everything's
on
like
the same.
this.
That's right.
It can't be. So for me, in reality, there is nothing like real balance. You've got to make up your mind what is important to you at a certain season of your life. And those choices are going to determine how your life will be. So you're going to think ahead. And that's, again, when it comes to leading yourself. So self-leadership is very important. So I would say self-leadership above balance. Right. Right. That's from my perspective.
That's very good. Yeah. Do you have any tips or secrets that you could share when it comes to self-leadership?
So with self-leadership, it's, I would say, awareness. Awareness is very important, knowing where you are and your environment, your spiritual environment, right, and your environment in general, observing yourself, your inner self, your spiritual self, your body, and all that. That's very important. So that awareness is important, right? And then, of course, you want to be able to then, your attitude as well. What's your attitude? How would you take a situation? Right. So all these are the things that you look at as well. Your attitude, your self-awareness, okay, and your goals. What are your goals? What's important to you at any section of your life? We all have goals, and it's never one. I will never achieve them all at the same time. So I'll say, you're pacing yourself. So I pace myself, and because there's so much I want to do, I want to accomplish, but then there's so much time, right? And there's so much energy that I have. Right. So we have a lot of limitations, and actually that's why my conference is themed No Limits. So I said no limits as a way of confession, and as a way of looking for the ways to break through those limitations as well, because they're there, but we can just keep pushing through.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm learning and I'm being edified. We're just going to go for a short break, but we'll be right back on Inspire, speaking to Miss Grace. Welcome back from the break. I'm Monique Laws and you're watching Inspire. My beautiful guest today is Mrs. Grace Krobo-Edusei. So Grace, you have a Live to Lead Elevate Leadership International Conference coming up, which is highly anticipated and I'm very excited. Please could you tell me about it? What was your vision for it?
Well, I'm very excited also to be hosting this conference, and it's my first time I'm hosting it. It's such a privilege to be hosting it because I've always wanted to bring something of value to my community. And so Live to Lead, Elevate Leadership International Conference is the flagship conference of the John Maxwell Leadership Company. And so I'm a John Maxwell certified speaker, coach, and trainer.
Wow.
And so I've made this investment to bring it to my community to add value. So in the Maxwell system, we say that we are people of value who want to add value to other people so they can multiply that value to others as well. And that's why I'm hosting Live to Lead. So
nice.
What's Live to Lead about? It's really about bringing up people together, leaders, right? Leaders from all walks of life. In the past, that's brought leaders from every sector, honestly, from the oil and gas sector, entrepreneurs, corporates, from everywhere, really. They come together and they come together to learn. So Live to Lead is not just an event, it's where you learn and join together with other people, like-minded people, and grow together. So I call it a learning lab. So I know people are always learning. People say, oh, there's another conference, but this is not like that.
Right.
And because here it's going to be people, John Maxwell himself,
Wow.
Yes,
amazing.
John Maxwell himself, the #1 leadership expert in the world, outside the entertainment world, pouring into us amongst other speakers. So it's going to be amazing. He'll be talking about various topics, which also speak into my theme today for that day, which is No Limits as well. He'll be talking about cultivating an abundance mindset for leaders. And we also have a lady called Shantalo. Shantalo is a 4-time Olympian, and she will be talking about self-leadership. We talked about self-leadership earlier, yes, and how she got to where she is, and she'll be sharing practical steps with us on how to get ahead and overcome challenges. She's also a breast cancer thriver.
Wow.
And that's really interesting. And also have entrepreneurs on the bill as well. So we have 4 people, including John Maxwell, from the States, from the Live to Lead as well, and also have in person 4 speakers, and they're amazing people. Just amazing. So Live to Lead, you're going to really go away feeling energized and determined to do better, to break any limitations at all, whether it's in your mind, whether it's your circumstances, whatever it is happening. We know today it's not easy in Ghana, in the world at large. The global economic meltdowns and everything is affecting all of us. It's affecting leaders because they find it so difficult to lead.
Right.
I mean, I think now more than ever before, this is one of the most difficult times to lead. I know people said, oh yes, during the COVID, that was tough. But I tell you, all the results of the COVID era is still affecting us because we are paying the price for all the lockdowns and everything else that's come with it. And I think that there's no better time than for leaders to get together, just like Live to Lead Elevate Leadership Conference, to talk about the future of leadership. How are we going to lead? How are we going to overcome, break those limiting issues in our lives? So it's not just mindset, it's everything that is happening to us today. And also, this is an election year for us, also in the US and also in Ghana.
Right.
And what better time than for us to be talking about leadership and how we can break through, break forth, right, and be better leaders, and to serve our people better, the people who work for us, who follow us, for us to serve them and bring them along. So whatever it is that is limiting us in any way, this is a conference, this is a place where you're going to find the answers with practical tools, practical steps that is going to help you to achieve those goals for yourself and for your organization as well.
Wow, that sounds very, very powerful. You're absolutely right. I do feel we're still living in the side effects of COVID, but you mentioned it's a very difficult time to lead. What do you think are some of the key factors that is making it difficult for leaders to lead at this time?
I think one of them is definitely people not having the trust, so lack of trust in leadership. Right, and of course we have so many reasons for that, and it's legitimate for people to feel that way. You know, for people to feel that, well, can we trust leadership? Right, it's not just politics; it's everywhere, right? Because of what's happening in the world today. And I think this is a good place for leaders to learn. How can I bring my people along to trust me? How can I treat my people better? I believe that people or your workers are not people to be used, but assets to be invested in. So I look at people as assets. They say human resources. Yeah, they're resources, we use them. No, but we're not supposed to just use them. We're supposed to add value to them. So if you had an asset like a home or a car or something, those are assets, right? And we take care of them, right? And the same way, how much more human beings? We must invest in them and let's see the value grow. And this is the place where you're going to learn that. And if you know it before, and maybe you've forgotten, or maybe you know how it is, because it's called the law of degeneration. You're doing something right, but then it kind of goes down. And this is a time to renew that energy and renew your commitment to say, you know what, I can do better than this. I can help. I'm not just growing myself, I'm growing the people around me. And that's why I'm so passionate about leadership, because I've come to see leadership as an opportunity to serve and grow people, right? To help them to grow. And for what I want for myself is what I want for everyone else as well.
When it comes to faith, how much does that impact your decision making and your career?
Oh, well, faith isn't everything I do. I'm not only a pastor. I love Jesus. Always loved Jesus, and but then I can say that my journey from beginning was always with knowledge. But when I started to get knowledge and understanding, I'd apply the wisdom that I learned under my pastor and my church, where I belong and serve. That is when I knew how to apply. So application of faith in everything. I always say, if I came to a very difficult situation, I would say, what would Jesus have done?
Nice.
You see, that ultimately, I can't say I'm 100% like Jesus, but but I've got Jesus and I've got his apostles and all the examples. I've got my pastor. My pastor is a leadership guru himself.
Nice.
And he's written so many books. I even have one of his books today. Yeah, it's called The Art of Leadership. It's an amazing book. Yes, everybody should read that. And I also have other books by John. I always have my markers there. This is the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by Dr. John C. Maxwell. I've got this one. I always say, well, after the Bible, for me, this is the book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. Very powerful books there, which help me with my faith and leadership journey.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. What date is the Live to Lead, Elevate Leadership Conference?
So Live to Lead, Elevate Leadership International Conference comes up, the in-person one comes up on the 31st of October 2024, and it is at the Labadi Beach Hotel, and it's going to be amazing, an amazing day. It's a full day. So I know that people might be coming from far away, so we've planned for people to arrive, because it's a Thursday, so people will probably be going to work anyway. So if you're coming, you're just coming like you were going to work at 8 o'clock. We have welcome tea for you. We have tea breaks, and then we also have that amazing Labadi Beach lunch. It's going to be a great day, and you'll be rubbing shoulders with the leaders in the society, and I'm sure with those connections, that's a good thing about Live to Lead, the connections that we make, networking. Don't they say that your network is your net worth? So come to Live to Lead. There's so much going to be going on there. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Just before we wrap up, do you have any final words for our viewers?
Well, let me say that you're a leader, no matter who you are, whether you are a young person, an older person, you're never too young to be a leader. And if you're an older person, you're still a leader. Don't throw in the towel. There's room to learn. Always be in a learning and growing environment. Extremely important. And for me, I feel like I have found my passion. I love what I do, and I'm doing what I love, and I wish that the same for you. And if you're a leader, that is the same. Just embrace that. Be positive, right, and keep growing. Growth never stops.
Amen, amen, amen. Thank you so much for watching Inspire with me, Monique Laws, and Grace Krobo-Edusei. Make sure, if you're able to, come down to the Live to Lead, Elevate Leadership International Conference. Bye for now.